First contact. The silence in the command center was absolute as Commander Natasha Reed watched the alien vessel emerge from the swirling distortion in Earth's orbit. Decades of SETI research, and finally, humanity had its answer. We were not alone.
Status report,
she ordered.
Her voice steady, despite the hammering of her heart. Unknown vessel, approximately 2 kilometers in length. No weapons signatures detected, but energy readings are off the charts, Lieutenant Wilson replied. Fingers dancing across holographic displays. Earth's governments had unanimously appointed Natasha to lead humanities. First contact team. Her background in xenolinguistics and military strategy made her the ideal candidate for facing the unknown. Incoming transmission announced. Communications Officer Patel requesting permission to send representatives. Natasha nodded. Grant permission and prepare the reception area. First contact protocols are in effect. Hours later, she stood in the specially designed chamber as the air shimmered with particles of light, coalescing into 3 tall humanoid figures. Their skin glowed with a faint blue luminescence, and their eyes, 3 of them, triangularly arranged, regarded the humans with unreadable expressions. The central figure stepped forward. I am Ambassador Zoran of the Valkyrie Confederation. We come in peace and curiosity. His voice resonated with a melodic quality. The translation technology working flawlessly. Commander Natasha Reed of Earth. We welcome you and offer friendship, she replied. Performing the traditional Earth greeting of an open-handed gesture, Zoran tilted his head, studying her with interest. Your species is younger than we anticipated. Your technology is ... primitive. We've achieved much in our short history, Natasha countered diplomatically. Indeed. That is why we've come. The galaxy is filled with dangers, Commander. The Valkyrie Confederation evaluates emerging species for potential alliance. And what criteria do you use for this evaluation? Zoran's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. Adaptability, intelligence, and most importantly, warrior spirit. The universe is not kind to the unprepared. Behind Zoran, one of the other Valkyrie made a sound that the translators interpreted as dismissive laughter. These soft creatures, look at their frail forms. They would shatter in real combat. Natasha maintained her composure. We may surprise you. That is my hope, Zoran said, his gaze lingering on her face with unexpected intensity. We have observed your conflicts, your wars. You fight differently than other species we've encountered. Different doesn't mean inferior, Natasha replied. No, Zoran agreed, a subtle change in his expression, suggesting interest. It does not. The skeptical Valkyrie behind him snorted. The High Command will require proof of their worth, Ambassador. Theory is not reality. Then we shall give them the opportunity to demonstrate, Zoran declared. Commander Reed, the Valkyrie Confederation, extends an invitation. Send your best warriors to our training world. Show us what humans are truly capable of. Natasha felt the weight of humanity's future settle on her shoulders. I will lead the team myself. Bold, Zoran commented, his middle eye dilating, slightly a sign of respect, she would later learn. I look forward to seeing what you are capable of. Commander Natasha Reed of Earth, as the aliens departed. Natasha couldn't shake the feeling that Zoran had been looking at her with more than just diplomatic interest. Something in those alien eyes had sparked a curiosity that mirrored her own, a connection that transcended the vast differences between their species. The future of Earth now depended on proving humanity's worth to the stars. Cultural exchange. 3 weeks later, Natasha found herself aboard the Valkyrie flagship, a massive vessel called the Stellaris. The ship's interior was a marvel of organic technology, walls that pulsed with bioluminescent light, gravity that adjusted automatically to individual physiology, and viewports that shifted to show different spectrums of space on command. Your accommodations are satisfactory? Zoran asked as he guided her through corridors that curved like arteries through the living ship. More than satisfactory, Natasha admitted, trailing her fingers along a wall that hummed in response to her touch. Your technology is beautiful. Beauty and function are not separate concepts for Valkyrie, Zoran explained, his 3 eyes watching her with obvious fascination. just as your human adaptability serves both practical and aesthetic purposes. The slight pause in his speech made Natasha wonder if the translation had difficulty with certain concepts or if Zoran was experiencing something more personal in their interactions. The military council awaits, he said, gesturing toward an ornate doorway ahead. I should warn you, they are less diplomatic than I am. Inside, 5 Volcari military commanders sat in a semicircle, their armor glinting with embedded technology. Their leader, Fleet Commander Dravix, stood as they entered. So this is Earth's champion, he said, circling Natasha with evaluating eyes. Physically unimpressive. Your muscle density is approximately 60% of Valkyrie standard. Skeletal structure fragile. Reaction time sluggish. Natasha maintained perfect posture. Yet our species has survived predators, natural disasters, and our own destructive tendencies to reach the stars. Dravix made a dismissive gesture. Surviving is not thriving, human. The galaxy rewards strength. The galaxy rewards adaptability, Zoran interjected. Humans have faced challenges different from our own. Theory, Dravix scoffed. Let us see reality. Tomorrow, the human contingent will face standard Valkyrie combat trials. Later, alone with Zoran in a private observation deck, Natasha gazed at the starfield. Your military doesn't think much of us. They measure by familiar standards, Zoran replied, moving closer. I find myself intrigued by different measures. His proximity sent an unexpected warmth through Natasha. Cross-species attraction hadn't been covered in her diplomatic training. What intrigues you, Ambassador? She asked quietly. Zoran's hand forefingered and warm hesitantly touched hers. The way you observe before acting. The efficiency in your movements. Your species accomplishes much with limited resources. Touch lingered, neither pulling away. Is this appropriate? Natasha asked. Unprecedented, Zoran admitted, but not forbidden. Valkyrie value unique perspectives. You offer something ... new. The ship's lighting dimmed to simulate night, casting his features in soft blue shadows. Natasha found herself studying the elegant contours of his face, so alien yet increasingly familiar. Tomorrow will be difficult, he warned. Dravix wants you to fail, and we'll just have to surprise him, Natasha replied with a smile. Zoran's 3 eyes blinked in sequenza, gesture she was beginning to recognize as amusement. I believe you might, Commander Reed. When his fingers tentatively intertwined with hers, the gesture bridged more than just their physical differences. It connected to beings from worlds unimaginably distant, finding unexpected common ground among the stars. Meanwhile, Earth's military team prepared for trials designed for a physiology unlike their own. Against opponents who had been waging interstellar war for centuries, the odds seemed impossible, but then, humanity had always specialized in beating impossible odds. Crisis Point. The combat trials were brutal. In the vast training arena aboard the Stellaris, Natasha's team faced challenges designed for beings with twice their strength and endurance. The artificial gravity had been increased to Valkyrie standard 1.5 times. Earth normal, making every movement a struggle. Your humans perform admirably. Despite their limitations, Zoran commented as he stood beside Natasha, watching Lieutenant Wilson navigate a combat simulation against a Valkyrie warrior twice his size. We're adapting, Natasha replied, wincing as Wilson took a hit that would have incapacitated most humans. Instead, he rolled with the impact. Using his opponent's momentum against them, a technique the Valkyrie hadn't anticipated, Fleet Commander Dravix approached. His expression unreadable to human eyes, but Zoran tensed beside her. Unconventional tactics, Dravix noted. Clever, but ultimately futile. Real combat isn't controlled simulations. As if summoned by his words, the ship's alarm system activated, pulsing red light throughout the chamber. Multiple unidentified vessels approaching at attack velocity announced a disembodied voice. Battle stations. This is not a drill. Dravix's demeanor shifted instantly from contemptuous to commanding. The Krell swarm. They've found us. Screens throughout the arena displayed the approaching threat. Dozens of angular, Predatory ships moving with hive-like coordination. Your human team should seek shelter, Dravix ordered Natasha. This is beyond your experience. With respect, Commander, Natasha countered. We'd prefer to help defend the ship that's carrying us. Before Dravix could refuse, the ship shuddered violently as the first barrage hit its shields. Breach in Section 14. Called a Valkyrie officer. Krell boarding parties detected. They're inside. Zoran asked, alarmed. That's impossible, our shields. They've developed phase technology, Dravix growled. Warriors, defend the ship. Natasha activated her comlink. Earth team, combat positions. We've got borders. Remember our zero-gravity training. The Valkyrie rushed to predetermined defense positions. Natasha's team moved differently, splitting into pairs, taking unexpected routes through the ship's maintenance tunnels, approaching the threat from multiple angles. When they encountered the first, Krell insectoid creatures with chitinous armor and energy weapons, the humans didn't engage directly like the Valkyrie. Instead, they used the ship's environment, manipulating gravity controls, sealing compartments, and employing ambush tactics that confused the hive-minded invaders. From the bridge, Dravix watched in astonishment as the human team's unconventional approach disrupted the Krell's coordinated assault patterns. They fight like infiltrators, not warriors, he observed, puzzlement evident in his voice. They fight like survivors, Zoran corrected, a note of admiration in his tone. Look how they use minimal force for maximum effect. They're preserving energy while the Krell exhaust themselves. The battle raged for hours. When it finally ended, the Krell retreating after sustaining heavy losses, Natasha found herself in the medical bay beside Zoran, who had been injured protecting a fallen human soldier. You risked yourself for one of my team, she said softly. Touching the regenerative membrane covering his wound, Zoran's three eyes focused on her face. Your Lieutenant Chen would have died. The action was ... logical. It was compassionate, Natasha corrected, her hand lingering on his arm. Perhaps, Zoran admitted. I am learning that human values have unexpected merit. Their faces drew closer, curiosity and attraction transcending their biological differences. Commander Reed, Dravix's voice interrupted as he entered the medical bay. The High Command wishes to speak with you. It seems your species' approach to warfare has attracted attention. Battlefield romance, the diplomatic chambers aboard the Stellaris, had been hastily converted into a war room. Holographic displays showed the movements of the Krell fleet across 3 sectors, their hive ships regrouping after the failed assault. They will return in greater numbers, stated High Commander Varix, the most senior Valkyrie military leader, his image projected from the homeworld. This attack was merely a test of our defenses. Natasha stood beside Zoran, now recovered from his injuries. Her team had been officially integrated into the Stellaris Defense Force. It's an unprecedented honor for a non-Valkyrie species. Commander Reed, Varix addressed her directly. Your tactics against the Krell boarding parties were effective. Explain your approach. Humans evolved as persistence hunters, Natasha explained. We lack the immediate strength of many predators, so we developed endurance and problem-solving instead. We don't try to overpower enemies. We outthink them, create conditions where their strengths become liabilities. Dravix, who had been reviewing the battle footage, nodded reluctantly. The Krell expected direct confrontation. When the humans attacked from unexpected angles and used our ship's systems against them, it disrupted their hive coordination. Your species shows promise, Varix concluded. We will incorporate your methodologies into our defense plans. After the council adjourned, Zoran guided Natasha to his private quarters, a sanctuary filled with bioluminescent plants from the Valkyrie homeworld and artifacts from dozens of worlds. I requested that we work together to develop integrated tactics, he said, activating a privacy field that hummed softly around them. Professional collaboration, Natasha asked with a small smile. Zoran moved closer, the pattern of lights beneath his skin pulsing more rapidly. Not entirely professional, perhaps. Their first kiss was tentative, exploratory alien physiology meeting human in a moment of shared vulnerability. His skin was warmer than human standard, with a subtle vibration that sent pleasant shivers through Natasha's body. I have studied human intimacy, Zoran murmured against her neck. But experience proves more enlightening than theory. Tasha laughed softly. Some things transcend species, it seems. They discovered each other slowly, mapping unfamiliar territories with gentle curiosity. The bioluminescence in Zoran's skin responded to emotion, creating patterns of light that flowed across his body as their intimacy deepened. Natasha traced these patterns with her fingers, learning a new language written in light and texture. Later, as they lay intertwined, the stars visible through the viewport above them, Zoran spoke thoughtfully. The High Command is impressed with humanity's potential. Your approach to the Krell threat demonstrated values the Valkyrie had overlooked: efficiency, adaptability, cooperation, different strengths, Natasha said, her head resting against his chest where an organ similar to a heart created a rhythm just slightly faster than human standard. Together, we're stronger than either species alone. A truth the Valkyrie are beginning to acknowledge, Zoran agreed, though Dravix would rather lose a limb than admit it. A proximity alert interrupted their moment of peace. The Krell had returned, this time with a fleet 3 times larger than before, as they quickly dressed. Zoran pulled Natasha into one more embrace. Whatever comes, know that you have changed how I see the universe. Natasha Reed of Earth. She kissed him fiercely. Then let's make sure we have a universe to explore together. New Alliance, the battle against the Krell lasted 3 days. What began as a desperate defense of the Stellaris evolved into a coordinated campaign as more Valkyrie ships arrived, alongside an unexpected reinforcement to an Earth vessel, the UN's Intrepid, humanity's first true warship. Built with technology exchanged during the initial diplomatic missions from the Integrated Command Center, Natasha and Zoran directed operations that merged Valkyrie power with human ingenuity. Where Valkyrie commanders sought direct engagement, Natasha's influence encouraged ambush tactics and strategic withdrawals that confused the hive-minded Krell. Their coordination falters when we present multiple threat types simultaneously, Natasha explained, manipulating the holographic display to show attack patterns. If we alternate between Valkyrie frontal assaults and human stealth strikes, they can't adapt fast enough. Dravix, who now treated Natasha with grudging respect, nodded in agreement. The strategy is effective. The Krell expect consistency. Their hive mind cannot process contradictory approaches. When the final Krell mothership retreated, the combined human-Valkyrie fleet had suffered losses, but achieved what the Valkyrie alone had never managed. A decisive victory against a numerically superior Krell force. In the aftermath, as repair crews worked to restore damaged systems, High Commander Varix convened a formal ceremony aboard the Stellaris. For 50,000 cycles, the Valkyrie Confederation has evaluated emerging species based on warrior potential. Varix announced to the assembled crews of both species, "Today we recognize that warrior has broader meaning than we previously acknowledged." Zoran stood proudly beside Natasha, their hands occasionally brushing in what had become a discreet signal of affection between them. Humanity has demonstrated that strength manifests in many forms, Varix continued. Adaptability, efficiency, perspective. These qualities complement Valkyrie power and endurance. Together, we are more than either alone. The formal alliance was signed with representatives from both worlds. Humanity would join the Confederation not as a protected species, but as full partners, the youngest race ever granted such status. Later in the observation dome, Natasha and Zoran watched distant stars through the transparent ceiling. Their bodies closed in the privacy of victory. "Earth's Council has approved our request," Natasha said softly. "I'll be staying aboard the Stellaris as permanent liaison." Zoran's skin glowed with patterns she now recognized as joy. "And the Confederation has approved my request to establish a permanent diplomatic residence on Earth. It seems we shall have ample opportunity to continue our cultural exchange. Is that what we're calling it now?" Natasha laughed, pulling him closer. His hands, now familiar despite their alien form, traced the curve of her face. "I believe humans have a more accurate term. Love, a concept the Valkyrie are only beginning to understand." We're good teachers, Natasha murmured against his lips. Around them, human and Valkyrie crews worked together, initial suspicion replaced by growing camaraderie. Where Vulkar's strength met human creativity, new possibilities emerged. The stars hold dangers we haven't yet encountered, Zoran acknowledged, but they also hold promise. Natasha looked out at the infinite expanse before them, a universe that had suddenly become both larger and more intimate. Together, she agreed, we're ready for both. As their silhouettes merged against the backdrop of stars, two representatives of vastly different worlds demonstrated the most powerful force in any galaxy, the ability to find strength in difference. In unity and diversity, the alliance of humans and Valkyrie had begun with skepticism and mockery, but would continue as equals. Facing the unknown with complementary strengths and the unexpected power of connection that transcended the boundaries between worlds.